Today's class, we will have a peak pose of pyramid pose. And today I will be using 2 blocks and a strap. If you don't have any of those items, you can always check out the links below. In substitute of the blocks, you can just use some really big books. And in substitute for not having a yoga strap, you can always just use like a belt. Let's get started. We're gonna lay down on our back. Find a nice comfortable position. I'm not gonna be here too long, just find some centering breaths for class. So try to clear the mind. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale. This next inhale, let's try to think about all the things we're gonna need for class today. Do you need confidence? Just need a little extra flexibility. Exhale, release. All right, this last breath, let's just bring in some positive energy. And then exhale all the negative that's not serving us. All right, now open the eyes. I'm going to bring both legs up, like a straight leg raise, but here we're just gonna keep it dynamic. So bending at the knees, we're stretching the hamstrings, bending and straightening. Energy should be through the heels toward the ceiling when they're straight. A couple of more. All right, I'm gonna lower my left leg. An option to use a strap here, I'll show you. Just wrap it around the ball of the foot. We're going to pull the toes back towards our face. Feel a nice static stretch through the hamstrings. And then use the strap to bring it out to the side for an abduction stretch. Then bring it back to center and over across the midline for an outer hip stretch. All right, back to center. Now, let's put the right foot down and we'll switch it out. So if you're using your strap, place your strap around the ball of the left foot and really pull those toes back towards your face. Okay, now let's take it out to the side. Just far enough that you're feeling a stretch in through the inner hip. And then bring it back to center. Cross the body over to the right. Stop once you start to feel that stretch in the IT band. And then back to center. I'm gonna get rid of my strap. Set it over here to the side. I'm gonna roll onto my left side. Use my elbow, kind of prop me up here. Straighten my legs and we're gonna do some straight leg raises. So making sure my toes are flexed, we're gonna just lift that top leg and set it back down. You should really feel a squeeze in through the outer hip here, and maybe even a stretch in through the hamstrings. Do a couple more. Nice and slow, controlled movement. All right, let's set it down, but now let's bend the knees, and we're going to do the same sort of motion, but bring the knee up, leaving the feet together. These are called clamshells. Feeling a similar type of sensation in the body where you're feeling a squeeze on the outer hip as you bring that knee up. All right, let's do one more. Okay, switch it out. Let's move on to the other side. I'm gonna use my right elbow, help support me. Remember, keeping those legs straight to start. Straight leg raises, toes are flexed. You might notice one side is a little bit easier than the other side. Maybe one side's just a little bit looser than the other one, and that's all right. Last one. All right, now let's bend the knees. Keeping the feet together, raise just the knee up. Once again, these are called clamshells. As you can kind of see, it's like a clam opening and closing its shell. Remember to keep breathing in through the nose. Try to lengthen your exhales. Last one. Okay, let's come back onto our back sides. Making sure we're comfortable. We're gonna bring both legs up. It's gonna look like happy baby, but we're really only gonna do half happy baby with one side. So let's leave the left side here. And then this right side, we're gonna straighten out the leg. Straightening and releasing. It's kind of like archer's pose on this right side. And then keeping happy baby on the left. One more. All right, now the right side gets to be happy baby and the left side gets to be archer's pose. This one always makes me shake once I get to the top. That's all right, hamstrings are just getting a good stretch. All right, let's do one more. Bringing the feet together, let's do a little bit of rocking and rolling. Find your way up to a seated position. Now here's a great time to use your strap again. We're gonna start with just a regular forward fold. So if you wanna use your strap, keep that strap around the balls of your feet and really try to lead with the chest, straight, tall spine. Bringing those toes back towards our face. Should feel a deep stretch in through the hamstrings. And try not to round at the shoulders. With each inhale, lengthen the spine. And each exhale, try to deepen the fold. All right, let's keep the strap around the right foot. We're gonna bring it out to the side and bring that left foot in for a seated tree. So make sure our chest or our heart is facing our toes before we lean forward. And grab a little bit closer up towards your feet. It's always the goal. Try to lessen the amount of strap that you have to use. One more breath here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, deepen the fold. All right, let's switch it out. So we're gonna bring the right foot in, the left foot out. You're still using your strap. Put it around the ball of your foot. Make sure the chest is facing the toes before we lean forward. Figure out how much strap you're gonna need now. And inhale, lengthen the spine and deepen the fold. Sit here for one more breath. All right, let's get rid of our strap, at least for now. Put it up in a way. And then we're gonna bring both legs out wide for a wide-legged forward fold. Keep your toes back, hands somewhere in the middle in between your feet, leading with the heart. Straightened spine. Inhale and exhale. Deepen the fold. Don't always need to drastically deepen the fold. Even just a little, like millimeter of deepening is great. All right, let's make our way onto hands and feet. Do a couple of quick cat and cows, warming up the spine. So inhale, cow, dropping the belly button toward the ground. And exhale, blow it away, rounding the spine, rounding the shoulders, but still strength through the shoulders, pushing the floor away. Inhale, drop the tummy. And exhale, let's find cat one last time. Finding a neutral spine, let's kickstand the right leg out. We're gonna bring this left leg straight behind us, and I'm gonna set my hand just on my hip here. We're gonna do some more straight leg raises. Let's make sure those toes are back toward the shins, and let's lift that leg just a few times here. Make sure you're feeling that sort of crunch or contraction of the muscles in the outer hip. Last one. All right, set the hands down, but this time let's come up onto our toes and bring the left foot onto the outside of the left hand. We're gonna sit here in lizard for just a second to make sure that we are leaning into this pose by letting our hips relax, feel an opening through the inner hip. You can even let them drop just a little bit to sink into it. It's a very big hip opener stretch. If you need a modification, you can always come down onto that back knee, make it a little bit easier for you. Let's switch it out. We're gonna go tabletop, but then bring that left leg out this time for a kickstand. Bring that right hand up on your hip. Toes are flexed back. Let's bring those straight leg raises. Nice slow, controlled movement as we're really focusing on this one spot right here, contracting for this pose. All right, last one. Very good. Let's plant the hands and then bring that right foot up to the outside of the right hand for lizard. Remember to keep taking deep breaths. Helps settle into a pose, especially if it's quite uncomfortable. Taking deep breaths will help calm your nervous system to relax those muscles and sink into it further. Once again, on this side, if you need that modification, always come down to the knee, the back knee, and untuck those toes. One more breath here. All right, whichever form of lizard you're in, let's find our plank. Then back into downward facing dog. All right, let's look up towards our hands. Step up to our hands. Inhale, halfway rise. Flat back, long spine. No wrinkles in the back of your neck. And exhale, release. Inhale, hands up overhead. And exhale, mountain. Inhale the hands up. Let's sit back into chair. We're hinging at the hips. Bring the hips up into the ribs, engaging the core. We're heavy in the heels with our weight, making sure our toes are nice and light. Take a deep inhale, and on this exhale, let it go, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. And exhale, plant the hands, come down, chaturanga, flip the toes, leading with the heart for up dog. Flip the toes back for down dog. Let's inhale the right leg up. And exhale, let's step it on through. Be sure to find that heel to arch alignment before standing up for warrior two. Shoulder blades are relaxed. Hips are still tucked up into the ribs, engaging the core. And on our inhale, let's flip that palm up and then come back into reverse warrior. The energy is through the crown of the head, pulling the spine up, lengthening, not bending backwards. And then let's lean forward, straighten that leg for triangle. So here you want to try to revolve the chest upward just a little bit. Maybe you can gaze up at the ceiling. If this is too big of a stretch for you, always have the option to grab a block and rest your hand on it to try to make a less intense pose. I'm gonna get rid of my block, flip the palm up. We're gonna reverse our triangle. Once again, energy through the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. All right, let's cartwheel the hands down and step back. We're gonna spin the heels over to the right and come up for side plank. You can just keep your feet sort of side by side, or you can stack your feet on top of each other. Cage the abs, keep those hips up. All right, let's set it down. Downward facing dog. Let's inhale the left foot up and then bring it on through. Heel to arch alignment, standing up for warrior two. Relax those shoulder blades, still engaging the core. Let's flip the palm, come back for reverse warrior. All right, let's inhale, straighten the leg, lean forward for triangle. Now let's inhale, reverse our triangle. All right, cartwheel the hands down. And let's find the side plank on the left side. Heels over to the left. Lift the hips, lifting the right arm up. One more breath. Plant the hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step up. Inhale, halfway rise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands up overhead. And exhale, mountain. We want to rearrange our blocks here. Let's make sure that both of them are to the top of the mat for this next flow. So inhaling, hands up. Option is sit back into chair. Let's make it a funky chair. We'll bring that right ankle up, set it on the left knee. Try to find your balance, find that spot on the wall. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, release, let it go. Inhale, halfway rise. And exhale, plant the hands, step back. Do our vinyasa, so our chaturanga. Elbows kiss the ribs. Flip the toes. Leading with the heart for up dog. And exhale, back into downward facing dog. All right, let's lift the right leg. I'm gonna bring it on through. But this time we're gonna set the back heel down. Let's grab these blocks. We're gonna do a half splits. I'm gonna scoot my foot a little bit further out. Toes are flexed back. Now use your blocks here if you need to bring the floor a little closer to you. I have these on the highest level right now for my blocks. You can always put it on the medium level or on the lowest. Wherever your body is today, be sure to use your props so that you're staying safe in these stretches. Sit here for just one more breath. All right, let's put our blocks back toward the top of the mat. Plant the hands, get our balance, lifting that back leg. Energy through the heels as we rise up into crescent. Sit here for just a second while we sink into this pose. Feeling the stretch in through the hips. All 10 toes should be facing forward. Knee tracking through the middle of that front foot. All right, let's bend our back knee. We're gonna push off. Lift that back leg as your hands come down onto your blocks for half splits. So energy is through the heel of that back foot. Toes are flexed back. So we try to lift that back leg as high as we can. Maybe if our foot goes higher, our head comes down lower, we can always lower our blocks. All right, let's bring the feet together. Get rid of our blocks. Step back into our downward facing dog. Now we're gonna do everything again, just on the other side. So let's bring the left leg up. Step it on through. Bring that back heel down, grab those blocks again. Half splits. You need to adjust your foot out a little further, by all means. Make sure that we're comfortable in this pose. Make sure those toes are flexed back. Deepening our exhales in these uncomfortable poses helps relax the muscles. So remember to keep breathing. Let's put the footprint to the floor. These are the top of the mat. We're gonna use those in just a second. Energy through the heels as we rise up into crescent. So let's sit in crescent for just a moment. Taking some nice deep inhales and exhales. Energy through the heels. Try to get that back heel a little closer to the floor. All right, let's bend the back leg. Push off, lifting the back leg. Energy through the back heel. Make sure to keep those hips level. We're not kind of, going wonky. We want to keep them parallel to the floor. And if you're able to, lower your blocks just a little bit. Get yourself comfortable. One more breath. Feet together while we put our blocks back. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up towards your hands. And exhale, step up towards your hands. Inhale, halfway rise. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands up overhead. Exhale, release, mountain pose. All right, last sun B here. Let's inhale the hands up overhead. Sit back into chair. This time we're gonna bring the opposite leg up for that funky chair. Sitting back, hinging at the hips. Deep inhale. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, point the hands, step back, chaturanga. Elbows no greater than 90 degrees. Flip the toes, leading with the heart. And back into downward facing dog. Inhale the right foot up. Bring it on through. We're gonna spin the back heel down so we have a heel to heel alignment for warrior one. Hips are facing forward. Those 5 toes are facing forward. Relax those shoulder blades down the back. So here we're gonna go into our peak pose, which is pyramid. You're gonna straighten out that front leg. Lean as far forward as you can. I'm gonna grab my blocks. And find a comfortable spot with these blocks, whether that's the highest. I'm gonna sit on medium, I think, today. Be sure to keep those hips facing forward. And the energy is through the ball of that front foot. Deep inhales and exhales. We really feel that stretch through the right hamstring. Be sure we're aware of our spine. It's nice and long, we're all scrunched up. Hold this for one more breath. All right, let's release our blocks. Plant the hands and bring the right foot back with the left. Downward facing dog. Let's do our peak pose on the other side. Inhale the left foot up. Step it on through. Find that heel to heel alignment. Should have grabbed my blocks a little early, get them a little closer. Rising up into that warrior one. Our hips are facing the front of the room. Try to remember those hips to ribs, engage the abs. All right, now let's straighten that front leg. Lean forward and grab your blocks when you're ready. Like I mentioned earlier, our bodies can be a little different on one side or the other, so not a big deal if one side feels a little tighter. You can always use your blocks and adjust them however is comfortable. In pyramid, you want to make sure your hips are still facing the front of the room. They're not looking out to the side. Tall, straight spine. One more breath. All right, let's go ahead and release our blocks. We're going to find a comfortable position on our back to end class. I'm going to start with my feet out about mat distance apart. We're going to do some windshield wipers. So bring those bring those knees over to the right and then to the left. Keep those sitting bones grounded. Really just making sure the movement is through the hips and not the whole lower body. All right, this time when our knees come back to the left, I'm gonna straighten that left leg and we're gonna do a quad stretch on the left side. Keeping the knee in line with the hip. We don't want it flaring behind us or out to the side. One more breath. All right, back to the middle, windshield wiper a few more times. And then you guessed it, we're gonna go over to the left side. Straighten that bottom leg. Take some deep breaths, calm your body down from our intense practice today. Let's come onto our back one more time. We're gonna give ourselves a great big hug, bring those knees in, round to the spine. If you need to keep it a little dynamic, a little back massage, just roll your legs around, your knees moving. It's finding stillness. For our Shavasana, our corpse pose, bring the palms up. Let's find a nice steadying breath. Deep inhales through the nose. And exhales. Take some time. Be grateful to yourself for taking time out of your day for this class. Be grateful for all the positive energy that you've just created in your body. May you continue to take more time out of your week to practice mindfulness with movement. Yoga is more than just about flexibility. How loose can my hamstrings be? It's about connecting the mind with the body. Do one more breath in here. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to learn a new peak pose with me. I hope you enjoyed this pyramid class. May your yoga practice continue to thrive.